At precisely a little bit after lunch on the 6th of October 2025, President Ramaphosa took to the stage in Johannesburg to announce his economic recovery action plan. Yes, new, because apparently when you recycle the same PowerPoint slides year after year, it becomes revolutionary. The ANC's head of economic translation promised fireworks like Durban during Diwali, but all we got is a single sparkler on that free Spur birthday ice cream. And me being in finance, I stay tuned, ready for a plan to make the economy hum. Maybe a fresh idea or two. Maybe, just maybe, someone pulled out a spreadsheet and did a little bit of math. But alas, for 35 minutes the president spoke and spoke and spoke. I waited for the action in action plans. But in the end, I realized the only action was me reaching for my remote. The markets didn't move. Journalists didn't move. Even the teleprompter looked tired. By 5:30, still no news coverage. Why? Because nobody noticed anything happen. You can't report what doesn't exist. It was like the president had just announced a new ministry in his cabinet, the Department of Déjà Vu. Ramaphosa's 10 interventions sounded like his 2018 playlist: fast track electricity, accelerate freight recovery, improve state capacity, rebuild something or the other. Every line came with these three verbs: fast track, accelerate, and improve. In political language, this translates to: we didn't do it the last time, but now we're going to talk about not doing it even faster. Then came the cherry on the stale cake: an economic war room in the presidency. Ah yes, South Africa's eternal solution, another committee. At this point, we've had so many war rooms that if a war ever actually broke out, they would have a meeting to talk about who gets the desk. The government promised 14,500 kilometers of transmission lines for Eskom. Sounds great, until you realize that for the last decade, we've been trying to figure out who in Eskom purchased a wooden handle mop for 238,000 rands. They're also accelerating logistics recovery, rebuilding industries, and revitalizing industrial parks. In other words, they are promising to redo everything they forgot to do the last time. Then there's job creation. Every South African knows that this is just a phrase like diet ice cream. Sounds good until you take a bite and realize it's just an air of nothingness. We've got developmental financial institutions becoming catalytic investors, special economic zones, realigning with industrial parks, and something about corridor planning. I don't know what any of this means either, but I'm pretty sure there's a consultant somewhere charging the taxpayer 3,500 Rand an hour to explain it to another consultant. Then there's trade diversification. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement was signed in 2018, but now it's urgent because nothing says strategic thinking like waking up 7 years late to your own party. And finally, the president promised sustainable budget negotiation strategy. Translation: we're still trying to figure out how to spend money we don't have, but we're gonna look good doing it. Here's the truth, folks. Our government doesn't need another economic war room. It needs a calendar. We've been announcing the same projects for so long. The action plan should qualify for a long service award. We don't need new slogans. We need working freight trains, functioning ports, electricity that lasts longer than a loaf of bread, and a government that occasionally delivers something other than speeches. Until that happens, the only thing that's accelerating in South Africa is Ramaphosa's collection of committees. But at least he's consistent.